Hey guys, welcome to another flying video. This is actually the second half of a video that I recorded earlier today. That is the first ever sunset flight simulated engine failure video. So this, as you can tell from the video, is after the sunset, and it's now nighttime, which means this is my first ever nighttime landing, and actually first time landing on runway 21 left. And 21 left is fun. That's like the big kid runway, because normally that's reserved for the big jets. Not really reserved, but it's longer and it has more like instrument approach systems. So typically the bigger jets use that, and typically the Cherokees and the Moonies and the smaller the Cessnas and stuff are usually on 21 right. So this is fun. I'm excited for this, and it was actually a pretty sweet landing too. So you can kind of see from here. Where is the runway? Right, hang on. I lost it. I was going to show you guys, but now... Oh, hang on. You know what? It's back here. Yeah, so we're coming in, and it's hard to see, but like Oh, that wasn't the right button. This guy way over here is these like red lines. That's the runway that we're shooting for. So it's going to be like... We'll see... How it was hard to see actually before we were lined up, and then once we were lined up, it's pretty obvious. So at this point, we're already close enough to see the runway, but earlier I had to make a call telling them that I was coming in.
Piper Tower, Cherokee 69100 Juliet, over North Point Mall at 3,600 feet, inbound full stop with Romeo.
And their response was?
69119 Juliet, Piper Tower, continuing inbound for a straight in runway 21 right, distance 100 altitude.
Which again, that was like a lot of stuff really fast. And so I still need to work on these comms a little bit, but this is my response.
Continue for straight in approach for 21 right, 19 Juliet.
And like, oh wait, I forgot one more thing.
We'll descend down to pattern altitude.
So yeah, that's just how it is. But that was fine. So yeah, basically we oh, and it's interesting to note, North Point Mall wasn't some like arbitrary landmark. That's an official reporting point for inbound traffic to KPDK. So I wasn't just making that up either. So anyway, that was probably 5 or 10 minutes before this part of the video. And if you noticed, if you were super astute, you'll hear...
Piper Tower, Cherokee 69100 Juliet, over North Point Mall at 3,600 feet, inbound full stop with Romeo.
69119 Juliet, Piper Tower, continuing inbound for a straight in runway 21 right, distance 100 altitude.
She said for a straight in for 21 right. Which was the runway we were planning to land on. And then my instructor was like, want to land on the big runway? I'm like, yeah. So he made this call.
And Piper Tower 19 Juliet, could we request 21 left?
November 6919 Juliet, and change to runway 21 left. Runway 21 left, you're clear to land.
21 left, clear land for 19 Juliet.
So it's like, sweet, we get to land on 21 left. So here we are lined up. At this point, we probably have 1 or 2 notches of flaps in. This runway, 21 left, has what's called a displaced threshold, which means you don't actually land right where the runway starts. And if you look close enough, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but there's some small green lights that are actually on the runway that indicate the real start of the runway where you can land. So we're coming in. Fortunately, at this time of night, and on this particular day, the winds were super calm, so I don't have any crosswind. It's really just kind of a straight in, come on in approach, which was really nice. This is probably one of my better landings, and that's not saying a lot. But yeah, you can kind of see off to the right the little green lights on the runway. We're lined up. I think we were a little slow, and you can actually, I'm going to crank up the volume on the actual video, so you can hear the RPMs changing as I'm like adding a little bit more power, taking out a little bit of power. It's like not bad. We're well over 285. That was a smaller road. And then yeah, so there's all these red lights. It's like, no, don't land here. And then you can see the green lights off to the right, and there's 2 more on the left side that you just can't really see. And that's the start of the actual landing spot. So we're coming in a little to the right of center line, but not bad. but not the smoothest landing. And if I watch it back, I back up just a little. Hang on, a little bit more. If you look at my airspeed, it's kind of hard to see. If you like zoom in, we're like right around 60, 62 knots, I think, which is a little slow. I think normally we try to shoot for closer to 65 to 70, depending on what the crosswind looks like. So when you come in a little bit slow, you don't have quite as much lift, and so that's why we hit. It wasn't like a hard hit, but it wasn't a smooth, buttery landing. It was kind of a, you can tell, like when we hit. Yeah. But overall, not bad. I'm not embarrassed of that landing, because you should see some of the other landings that I've put my poor instructors through. And then at this point, we get another call from Tower, and Tower tells us to take a right on Delta.
November 6919 Juliet, all the way down to Delta, turn right on Delta, hold short runway 21 right, remain my frequency.
Hold short 21 right, 19 Juliet.
Yeah, my comms were a little, like, that, it just didn't record very well, but it sounded clear. Oh, this is funny, we were like waiting, if you can listen to, let me reverse that a little bit. You can kind of listen to our comms, and I've never, again, this is my first time landing on 21 left, and so she's like, take a right on Delta, and so that little yellow sign to the right says Delta, and I'm like, I think this is right here, and Alec was like, no, there's like a yellow taxi line, just follow the line, and we were waiting for the line, and we didn't really see one, so we almost missed our turn, but fortunately, not even close. These Cherokees have a pretty sweet turning radius. So we took a right on Delta, and then you can see the flashing lights. So this first line is the exit line from runway 21 left, which is where we just were. So we cross over this way, and you can actually see a plane taking off right in front of us on 21 right. And so that's why they have this like flashing lights here, because that's the actual entrance to 21 right. So we're gonna hang out here, and then eventually Tower tells us that we're clear to cross this runway as well, and then we contact ground, and ground says to taxi home. So that was that. That was the first, my first ever night landing. I'm actually gonna go watch it one more time. First ever night landing, and I think the first landing that I've recorded. I actually had a couple recorded and accidentally deleted the videos. So if anybody has a copy of Disk Drill or like an SD card recovery tool, let me know, because I still have that SD card. But yeah, I just thought this was super cool. Like the runway looks awesome at night. PDK is a cool place to be at night, and I'm glad I got to fly. So I think that wraps it up for tonight. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a good day or night or wherever it is, and we'll see you later.